you think about it.
Right.
You talk big, don't you?
Yeah.
But then you wimp out.
Yeah, pretty much. Consumer reporter Steve Noviello is here with some tips on how to ask your boss for a raise, because that's true. I think everyone feels the same way. It's something that's hard to do.
Yeah, and you know what? No more wimping out, because this morning is author and negotiation expert Linda Swindling. Your most recent book, The Manager's High Performance Handbook. We've all had that knot in our stomach. You want more money, you don't know how to ask, so go ahead, ask me for a raise. How do you do it?
Steve, I was going through my job description, and you know, when you hired me 2 years ago, you said as I progressed and as I started taking on more responsibilities and solving problems, that we would reconsider my job compensation. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today.
Yeah, you know what? We just don't have the money for you, but we really do appreciate your work, so thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's how it goes, right?
Well, and that's always the fear, right? So you always might hear that word no. You always might, and you should actually prepare that it's going to take them a while to get into, okay, well, maybe she does earn it.
Right.
So this isn't a one-time conversation. I think that's what people, they get so scared about. This is like any negotiation. This is an ongoing relationship. You're my boss. I'm going to see you. Hopefully, finally, maybe you and I have been meeting, but a lot of times it's the first time the boss has ever sat down. So yeah, it's important.
I would imagine that your reaction to that no is just as important. The behavior after the no is just as important as the behavior before.
Exactly. Assume that that's going to happen. And then you really need to think about, what's my next step? What's my strategy? What am I going to do next? So, well, great, Stephen, and I've hit you with this, pretty new. We haven't sat down and talked about it. Let me show you some of the things I've done. Let me give you some of the value things. And then I want to focus you on the future. I'm always looking for, what's the next step? What am I going to bring to you next? Because I have to know my value.
And I think that's an important point here, because a lot of folks might say, well, I do the job that I was hired to do. It's really all about saying, hey, this is why I deserve more compensation, because I'm bringing so much more.
Well, and I think what the problem is people look in the past and they'd say, I deserve it. I'm worth it. Great. You've been paid for that job.
Right.
Right. That work has been done and you've been paid for it. Now moving forward, what am I going to do? What value am I going to bring? Or what talent do I have that people go, oh no, if we don't have Linda doing this, bad things are going to happen.
I would imagine as well that for a lot of folks, you ask the boss, but what a lot of people fail to realize is the boss probably has a boss that they need to ask. So really, I would imagine it's all about arming them with the best information so they can make a good case for you.
Exactly. And, it might be statistics in the industry. It might be you need your background, but you want to give your boss words so they can go to their committee, their boss. And you also need to know that it may not be the time to move roles. They may not have a higher role, or they may not have a higher compensation, but guess what? At least you've planted that seed.
You're on the radar now.
And they hadn't been thinking about it before.
So take the deep breath, work up the courage, and ask, is there any one thing that's a red flag that you should absolutely not do?
Well,
besides scream and pout.
Right. Well, don't scream and pout. Absolutely. Be professional the whole time. Be professional and say, I know I've hit you with this, or
right, because maybe they haven't been thinking about it this whole time.
They're worried about their own job.
Right.
And the other thing is sometimes there's something going back at the office, or something that you don't know about that really may affect. They may be about to cut people, and you don't want to be the one in that role or the one in the lead.
Yeah, understand that you still have to work there, even if this negotiation doesn't go well.
Exactly, and ask them, what is it that I need to do next? Get some feedback from them. It's your job to manage your career.
All right, Linda Swindling, we certainly appreciate it. Again, Linda's new book, The Manager's High Performance Handbook. More information right now, fox4news.com.